It has been going well. I don't know how loud that is, actually. I have a Roomba going around my room right now. He's trying to get underneath the desk right now. But it's been going well. I don't know how loud that is. But, yeah. How you been? You clean underneath my desk? I don't actually eat at my desk very often, so it shouldn't be too dirty down there. You know, Star Wars 4, 5, and 6 come before 1, 2, and 3. They were released before 1, 2, and 3. It also depends on if you're one of those people who calls Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith 4, 5, and 6 because you're too stubborn to call them in their release order instead of their chronological order. Let it under the desk, Kevin. Gosh, it wants to clean. I am dodging this damn thing. Now it's at my door. Can't really see it right now. There it is. I am dancing around this damn thing. I'm just going to do a Roomba stream. But, yeah, it's going around. On a side note... Oh, it's done. And it stopped right behind my desk. I need to send a video to you. Yeah. You have my number. And only you should have my number in this stream unless Brian shows up. Can I turn this off without walking this upstairs to its dock? Oh, you're just straight up sharing a video. Yeah. Please do not send links. I guess that's a bot thing. But like I said, you have my number. I'm just gonna set this outside my room. So I'm here. I'm just off camera. I just set it to go in the other room. So the room immediately behind this wall that my desk is up against, the room immediately behind there is a workout room, and it's like all concrete. So we just were able to clean up some stuff, and we're planning on putting some not carpeting, but some material down for the floors, and we want to make sure the floors are clean. So I'm kind of just running the Roomba over that floor just a few times, which is why it's near my room. Who played Obi-Wan in Star Wars 1977? It was not Ewan McGregor. Correct, it was Sir Alec Guinness. Guinness as in the beer. Which I could drink my weight in. And I am not light. For those of you who are curious, I am 6'8", 280 pounds. So I can drink a lot of Guinness. I love my Guinness. I love stout beers. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, this is not a stout beer. This is just a basic sparkling ice. Why was it not Ewan McGregor? Because Ewan McGregor... I just heard the thing turn off again, the Roomba. So, Star Wars was filmed in 1976. It was released in 1977. And Ewan McGregor would have been 6 years old. Because Ewan McGregor is born right here, March 31st, 1971. So Ewan McGregor would have been 6. Not 65, 70 years old, however old Alec Guinness was. So, also, yeah, because Star Wars came out earlier, it's more of that Ewan McGregor picked it up later, because Alec Guinness was, the first Obi-Wan. When you ask your parents or your grandparents who played Obi-Wan Kenobi, they would not say Ewan McGregor. They'll say Alec Guinness. For our generation, we think of McGregor because of the prequel trilogy and the Obi-Wan show. We think of McGregor. And I prefer McGregor. But Alec Guinness is the original Obi-Wan. All Obi-Wan portrayals lead back to Alec Guinness. So, I think Alec, because that's the movie I started with. I mean, yeah. The first Star Wars movie I watched was A New Hope. So, the first Obi-Wan I was introduced to was Alec Guinness. I remember Michael, you're gonna like this. So it was back when my family was living in Kansas City, so I would have been about kindergarten or so. And so this is probably about 20 years ago. My dad and my brother were sitting on the couch and they were watching The Phantom Menace. Now at this point it's about 2003 or so. 2004 maybe. And so it's about an 03, 04 time frame. And so I walked downstairs to the living room where my brother and my dad are watching Star Wars Phantom Menace. And I'm like, what are you watching? What is this? And I remember at the time I'm about five or 6 years old. And my dad goes, wait, have we not shown you Star Wars yet? And this is my older brother, for those who are wondering. I only have one brother, he's older. And so my dad turns to me and says, we haven't shown you Star Wars yet, have we? And I'm like, what's Star Wars? And so that night, by the way, at that point, my dad pauses The Phantom Menace and then puts the DVD back in the case, because this is well before streaming. And so he then says, we will watch Star Wars tonight for dinner. So then my brother is so excited to show me Star Wars. My dad is so excited to show me Star Wars. My mom, of course, is also super excited. We sat down. I don't remember what we had for dinner, but that night we watched A New Hope. And I was hooked. And so we ended up watching the entire trilogy. And then Attack of the Clones had already been released on DVD and we owned it. So we had the 5 movies up to that point. Revenge of the Sith had not come out yet. And so when Revenge of the Sith was announced and the trailers were coming out, I remember seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters 3 separate times. It was rare when my family made it out to the movie theater. For the record, the first Harry Potter movie I watched in theaters, I believe, was Half-Blood Prince. I had seen all of them many times before that, even on Blu-ray, but I had not gone to see a Harry Potter movie, for an example, until Half-Blood Prince. And Michael, your sister actually took me to see that movie when she was living with us. So my other cousin, she actually is the one who took me. It was just me and her. We went out to go see Half-Blood Prince because I think my brother was out doing something and she really wanted to see it. She didn't have none of her friends were available, so she asked me if I wanted to go with her, and I'm like, yeah, I like Harry Potter. So we watched Half-Blood Prince in theaters. It doesn't shock you at all? Yeah. I think she forced me to watch Twilight with her as well. And she tried to take me to also see 17 again. I think she had a thing with Zac Efron. But she tried to get me to see 17 again. She took me to see Half-Blood Prince. She forced me to watch Twilight with her. And actually nowadays I would be perfectly okay with watching 17 again. That movie actually looks funny. Matthew Perry and Zac Efron. That actually kind of looks funny. But anyways, all that fun stories aside, today we're doing Phase 2. Of course, the Phase 1 video came out. That one took me a little while to make. A big thing with that one was a lot of stuff was happening personally, and so I just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So I'm like, you know what, the video will get made when it's made. So I remember when I was wrapping up the ChatGPT Phase 1 video, I was literally, it's done, I'm exporting it, and it fails like 6 times. It fails like 6 times to render out of my software. And I had to look up how to get it fixed up. Oh, it was annoying. You're gonna be in town in a month, end of the month? Awesome, just let me know when you're in town. And in America, do you stop at the red light and go at the green light? Yes, we stop on red and go on green. I think I have a theory that it has to do with blood being like a very bad omen kind of thing. Like when you see blood, like it's dangerous, scary, things like that. So they associate that with red and stopping. And green is like, plants and health and goodness, that means go. And then yellow's kind of in between in the color wheel, so it kind of hints at you. Yellow's like caution, so it slows you down. So that's my theory on why we use those 3 colors in the traffic lights, or stoplights, whatever you want to call them. But I had an idea for how we could start this stream before we get into phase 2 of the ChatGPT cinematic universe. And since I am planning on merging the superhero content with the Avatar stuff really quickly, for me, green means blood because I kept cutting myself from my mother's damn plants. I believe that. So, because I want to merge the comic books and superheroes with Avatar, since we're going to be talking a lot about superheroes today, I thought we'd start off with something relatively short with Avatar. I was going to do this, and yes, I did plan on wearing my Korra shirt today, but I wanted to do this little thing at the top of the stream, just because I thought it'd be another fun thing to kind of, you know, I guess half baby step or something like that into also having Avatar content on the channel. And that is, for those who are wondering, like I said, stop at red light. It's like you stop at Mario and the green light go on Luigi. Sure, you can think, I guess you can think it like that, yeah. But shortly after Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, the original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, shortly after they left the Netflix adaptation back in like 2020, 2021, they had left due to creative differences, which, after watching the show, spoiler-free review here, I see what creative differences will likely put in the Netflix adaptation for them to leave. That being said, the Netflix adaptation is still a very respectable and honorable, insert Zuko joke here, adaptation of the cartoon. So if you like the cartoon, walk into it with an open mind. It's not going to be the same because the cartoon is lightning in a bottle. It's never going to be done the same way again, ever. Just go into it because you like Avatar, and the show is going to be great. Just, that's it. And so, shortly after they had left, they had formed Avatar Studios, which is one of my favorite things when I ever heard that they make a studio that is committed to making consistent Avatar: The Last Airbender media. That's that's live action, not live action, and full-length animated movies and more shows. We're getting an Earthbender Avatar show after Korra that is said to be taking place in modern times, as Avatar: Last Airbender is supposed to be like 1850s, Korra is supposed to be about 1920s. This is supposed to be modern day, or sort of modern day. We'll find out how long Korra was able to live. Basically, if Korra lives to about 2005, the Earth-bending Avatar will be 16 in 2021. So we'll see how long Korra lives. If Korra lives to 2005, she's effectively 100 years old. Kyoshi lived to 230. Who knows? So cell phones would be a thing? Likely. That's what I've heard. I mean, if you think about it, if Kyoshi lived to 230, it's not surprising to hear Korra lives to a little over 100. She's let's say 16 in 1926, so she's born 1910. She lives to be 95, dies at 2005. And then 16 years later, the next Avatar sees the Avatar, 2021. Modern day Avatar. So that's my theory, is that it's going to be modern day Earth Nation Avatar. And it'll be the Earth Kingdom as a democracy canon by the end of Legend of Korra. King Wu steps down and declares that the Earth Kingdom should become a collection of city-states that govern themselves rather than have a monarchy. So, interesting to hear how that's going to work out, see if Zaofu's still a thing. But because of Avatar Studios, they're making all of these like comic books, video games. And so far, the first video game is trash. I've heard it's Subway Surfers with it's fancy Subway Surfers is what I've heard it is. The Quest for Balance, whatever they call it. I'm not buying it unless it's like super cheap and on sale. And Nick, I'll get to your comments in just a second. And so they're making all this stuff, and I cannot wait to dive into it. I'm currently listening to like the 4th Avatar book, Chronicles of the Avatar, the newest one. They're coming out with another one on Roku, so there's 2 on Kyoshi, 2 on Yang Chen. I've just started the 2nd Yang Chen book today, and they're making a Roku book that comes out later this year. I've already ordered like $100 worth of other books. So those are on the way in. I cannot wait to seriously deep dive into Avatar with you guys. But yeah, I figured today there's an Avatar Studios website. And just how in Pottermore you have the sorting, finding out what house you are, there's a find out what nation you belong to for Avatar. So like there's 4 houses in Harry Potter, there's 4 nations in Avatar. So if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Water Tribe because I'm effectively a Viking. So I've been compared to a Viking a lot. So it'd be cool to kind of land on Water Tribe, but ultimately they're all really cool. Nick, you said, no offense and please don't take it the wrong way, but I think you need a haircut. And I think you need to shave your facial hair. And I mean, that's your opinion, man. So for the record, this whole thing, I started not cutting my hair 2021, I think was my last like real haircut. I think that was the last time I had a real haircut was probably 2021. It was beginning of the season. I think it was like May of 21 is when I had my last haircut. Because I would have gotten it right before I started work at that summer job I used to work at, which I started those in May. So I probably would have gotten a haircut May of 2021. And since then I've committed to keeping it long. I've had small haircuts to kind of keep it relatively cleaned up. I haven't had a haircut in a long ass time. It's like that hair that grows in the bottom of your neck, to me it's disgusting. But I enjoy having it long. I have thought about cutting it. I think for right now, the length that it's at, you just got firebender. For the length that my hair is at, like I would just fully commit to growing it out more, and then once I commit to getting it like all cut off, I might just find a way if I can donate it. So just because I hate the idea of wasting all this hair once I'm done with it, and see if there's somebody else out there who could use it. So that's my thoughts when it comes to me getting a haircut. When it comes to a shave, I mean, I'd go clean shaven. I just too lazy to sit in front of the mirror and shave off my hair. Need to find an old picture of me. Yeah, I mean, you can find an old picture of me where I'm clean shaven. I'm just young. So, wait a minute. I bet. 1 second. Would that be in there? Facebook? Yeah, you can find old pictures of me on Facebook. Though I would not recommend going to my Facebook if you don't personally know me. Just because I share a lot of myself on the internet doesn't mean that you personally know me. Basically, if you have my phone number, you know me. That's the way I think about it. But anyway, Michael got firebender. I want to see what I end up with. And I'm going to be because I know this is going to be one of those, like, you know, there's probably going to be a question like, which of the 4, you know, nations' pets do you like the best? It's like sky bison, dragon, badger mole, and, well, it can't be the moon, so it'd probably go with like Naga's polar bear dog or penguin seal or something like that. Tiger seal, something like that. And if you just keep picking the Water Tribe ones, you'll end up getting Water Tribe. So I'm going to try to be as honest as I can. And I'm trying to back up everything that I choose with a genuine reason. So, taking the bending quiz. Let's go ahead and do this. In the world of the 4 nations, discover which bending ability you'd master. Fire, earth, water, or air. Enter your name. Have I seen Elf? Yes, I love Elf. Second or third best Christmas movie all time, only behind Christmas Vacation is the all-time best Christmas movie. You can at me on that if people still say that. And the second best is either Elf or Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And then it's the other one of the 2. And then the other 2 in the top 5 are Tim Allen's The Santa Claus 1 and Die Hard. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So, My name is Kevin. Who is my favorite avatar between Aang, Korra, Roku, and Kyoshi? I actually know the least about Roku. I know more about Kyoshi than Roku, but I still know a lot about all 4 of them. I think just because of the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, growing up on the show, it's impossible not to say Aang. I'm going to click Aang, but out of the other 3, I'm actually going to go Kyoshi. Because reading her novels, Shadow of Kyoshi and Rise of Kyoshi, Shadow of Kyoshi, I think those are the ones. It's Dawn of Yangshen, Legacy of Yangshen. I think it's Rise of Kyoshi and Shadow of Kyoshi. And then there's going to be Reckoning of Roku. That's the book that's currently being made. So that's in the Chronicles of the Avatar series. If you haven't read them or we don't have them on Audible, I highly recommend it if you're a fan of Avatar. So I'm going to go Aang. If I didn't pick Aang, I'd go Kyoshi. It's dinner time. Pick your ideal meal. Oh, hey, look, it's Mushi and Lee. A spicy dish, a hearty banquet, a vegetarian delight, or a seafood feast. I enjoy spicy food, but I have to pick and choose my spicy meals. My favorite spicy meal, my mom makes a dish called shrimp etouffee. It's not my favorite thing she's made before, but for some reason, when I was in college, every single time I was coming home and she asked me what I wanted for dinner, it was always shrimp etouffee. I like spicy food, but it's not my favorite thing. Hearty banquet. When I think the word hearty and food, I think burgers and like steaks and things like that. I love steak. And I love burgers. But a vegetarian delight, I am so anti-vegetarian, it's not even funny. But seafood. Like sushi. And crab and lobster and, a good salmon. I'm going seafood. Out of these 4, right now, I feel seafood. If not that, I go hearty, but I'm going seafood. We got Appa. Oh, hey, look. I knew this question was coming. Pick an animal to be your companion. A flying bison, a badger mole, a dragon, or a polar bear dog. Now, I don't want a badger mole. That thing's just way too damn big. And that's just going to fuck up the landscape of my house. A dragon would be cool. And so would a flying bison and a polar bear dog. My dream pet is a Siberian husky. That's my dream pet. Polar bear dog is the closest to that. A flying bison would be cool, but imagine feeding Appa. He has 5 stomachs. 5 fucking stomachs. Like, that's a lot of food you'd have to commit to a flying bison. For a dragon, wrong day, that house is burning down. So I think because of simplicity and security, I'm gonna go with the polar bear dog. But flying bison is that. Oh, it's a close ass second. I might have to go flying bison. Who would win, DC, Marvel, or Star Wars? If this was 10 years ago, Star Wars. If now, I go DC, Marvel. But I mean, all 3 have kind of fallen off. DC and Marvel. Marvel's kind of lost its step with the MCU, but it sounds like they're starting to fix their mistakes. DC, same thing. The DCEU was overall a failure and a disappointment, even if I enjoyed most of the movies. And Star Wars, a couple of the shows have been good, and Rogue One was good. Solo was fine, but it wasn't great, and none of the sequel trilogy is good. So, I mean, Star Wars, since since Clone Wars and Rebels, has not been good. So they're all kind of crappy when you think about it, but if I had to pick one of the 3 right now in terms of movies and online content, I go Marvel. DC, I think, is going to have the most potential within the next 10 years with the DCU. Star Wars is probably the weakest of the 3 as of right now. Legacy, you can't beat Star Wars' Legacy. You can't. So, going back to this question, assuming I have to feed it, I'm going to go polar bear dog. And considering Aang and Korra and Roku and Kyoshi, they all had to feed their companions, I'm going to go with the polar bear dog. That's going to be the easiest one to feed. To win a fight, what approach do you take? Evade, defend, and neutralize non-violently. Airbender. Stand your ground, block attacks, and use all your strength. That is Earth. Heavy offense, keep moving. Dodge while attacking, that's obviously fire. Counter-strike instead of initiate, then use their force against them. Genuinely, I'm kind of in between these two, earth and what I know is going to be earth and water. I've always loved the idea of shoving something back in their face. I've always been more of a defensive mindset, but I love turning defense into offense. So I'm going to go with this one, Counter-Strike. There's actually a trailer of DC Marvel versus Star Wars, but it's fan-made. I believe it. I believe it's fan-made. How do you process your emotions? Openly and passionately, calmly and introspectively. Oh, I'm calm and introspective. Oh, looks like we're about to find out what nation I belong to. My guess is it's going to put me in the water tribe. I'm a waterbender! Hey! Compassionate and adaptable, you flow like a waterbender, understanding the emotions of those around you. Your intuition guides you, helping navigate complex situations with grace. Embrace your waterbending abilities, fluidity, intuition, and empathy. I have 2 words to say about that. Water tribe. Reveal your shareable. What's my shareable? Oh, it's like this thing. Okay. Nah. I mean, it's cool, but I don't really know if I want to say more about bending styles. Like, is this going to talk about like blood bending, or oh, it's talking about basically what Iroh says to Zuko in what episode is that? In that episode, it's right after the it's right after the chase when Azula shoots fire at was it fire? Yeah, it was fire at Iroh. Or was it electricity? No, I can't remember if it was electricity or fire. Where Azula hits Iroh. It's where is it where Aang learns earthbending? Might be the episode that Aang learns earthbending. Is where Zuko learns to redirect lightning. But anyways, let's take a look at Explore. Stream Avatar on Paramount Plus. I have Netflix. Avatar in concert. I would pay so much to go to this, but there's no concerts near me. The only concerts they had in America were in Los Angeles and like Brooklyn. That's it. I am in Minnesota. I am not making it to either one of those. Those are both like 3,000 miles away. Okay, New York's probably like 2,000 miles away, but still. But you got YouTube stuff, Braving Elements. I have not listened to an episode of this. I want to so bad. I'm going to finish my book first, and then I'm going to binge this whole damn thing. Because that's Jeanette Varney, and that's Dante Bosco, the voices of Korra and Zuko. And General Iroh from Legend of Korra. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to this. Watch all 54 episodes of Aang's... There's only 54 episodes? I thought there was like 60. I think they actually did take a couple, like 2 episodes a season, or 4 episodes a season, and merge them together, so they counts 4 episodes as 2 episodes, which would bring it down a few numbers. But Legacy Yang Chen, this is what I'm listening to right now. Music from Avatar, Stream Korra on Paramount Plus. Okay, Quest for Balance. Yeah, this is that shitty game I heard came out. I've not played it, but I want to play this, the role-playing game. I mean, basically, it's Avatar D&D is what it is. And it's all, this is all official Avatar stuff. Literally, this sites and everything on here is made by the creators of Avatar. So, I mean, cool as hell. That being said, excuse me, don't know if you heard that or not, but let's go ahead and hop right into Phase 2! Anyways, I think we took 2 weeks off. I think 2 weeks ago I had to take off because my voice was shot. And then last week, I think we played Batman instead. So, we got ourselves the first stream in 2 or 3 weeks on the ChatGPT universe. So, taking a look here. Just got off the phone with the aunt. Lots of fun stuff's been happening, man. Lots of fun stuff. I'm sure she was talking to you about it. But Anywho, what happens if you go at the red light as a pedestrian in America? What's the punishment? Technically, I think that's called jaywalking. And, well, jaywalking is when you walk across the street when there's nothing there. Kitchen remodel, that's a big one. It's bad. But I think the worst thing that would happen is you get hit by a car. But, I mean, I don't know if you'd get arrested for that, but fined, sure. I think most cops would see that and just be like, if you get hit, what do you, like, they're just gonna call you a dumbass, fine you, and probably walk away. So, I mean, it is what it is. Anywho, so here are the characters that we have left. The series ended with a few characters actually dying, so we got a few characters here. So for our heroes, we actually have, according to ChatGPT, it wants to have a villain go to the hero side, and it's the one I expected the least, and that is the Temporal Enchantress. According to ChatGPT, the Temporal Enchantress is now a hero. So, and ChatGPT also wants to use anti-heroes. A few of the characters had died at the end of our team-up movie. Those were all villains, actually. So, because we had so many characters, the decision was made to kill off a few of them. So, things will be a little bit easier to handle going into phase 2. Yeah, usually nothing. I've never seen a cop fined for it. However, if you irritate said cop, then yeah. It all depends on the cop. Shocker, in America. It all depends on how chill the cop is. But here are our heroes. We have Hakuri Nakamura, Chrono Warden, a time-manipulating hero from Japan with a duty to protect the fabric of time. We have Einar Magnusson, who is Spectra Surge, a light-controlling hero from Iceland, using radiant energy to battle shadows and uncover truths. Amina Farouk, Phoenix Guardian, a pyrokinetic hero from Egypt, mastering fire and ice to defend against elemental threats. Isabella Silva, Aerosylph, an air-manipulating hero from Brazil, soaring through the skies and controlling technology. Alex Reed, the Psionic Oracle, a telepathic hero from the United States, delving into minds and manipulating thoughts. And Vera Locke, spelled with an E, the Temporal Enchantress, a time-manipulating former villain seeking redemption. Interesting to see where this goes. My vote is for our Chrono Warden sequel. It goes up against Death specifically, and maybe Dr. Imperfect. We'll see where that goes. And combining Temporal Enchantress and Hakuri Nakamura, the two aging characters, to go up against Death. Kevin, did you do the workouts? Did I do the workouts? What workouts? I don't know what workouts you're talking about. Did I do the workouts? You're gonna have to channel point redemption. Oh, I didn't see those pop up. Do I not have the alerts on the stream? Oh, I forgot those were on there. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I can go and do those really quickly. Was it 10? Is that the number I put on there years ago? Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Well, 5 and 5. All right. Well, if you order a second one, I've already done it, so I pre-ordered for you. Have you seen people go to red light before? Yeah, he's me. I've done it. More than once. Only once on purpose. Maybe twice. And that's only because I'm literally the only person at the light, nor can I see around me. And the light's been red for some amount of time, and I'm just like, fuck it. Done it so many times. You don't want to make a habit out of it. If you're gonna do it, you have to like consciously know what you're doing and like triple check for safety. And usually by the time you triple check, it's usually when the light turns green anyway. But the first time I really did it consciously, I was driving a teammate of mine and a friend of mine home from basketball practice in high school. And the light that he had going to his house was horrible. And so we're sitting in the line, and he's like, or we're sitting there, there's nobody around, and he's like, this light lever turns, you know, for us to turn left here. So like half the time we just run the red light. So I'm like, okay. So that was the first time I like really ran a red light on purpose. So I might have only done it one other time. Other than that, if I've done it, it's an accident. Like, I know exactly the last time I ran to the red light, and it was by accident. Did it, nearly got hit by a tram. That's dangerous. And you live in Australia, correct? I think you said you live in Australia, or was that somebody else? And we have some anti-heroes now, so some characters that can kind of run both ways, hero or villain. And so we got a few characters here. And the villains in phase 2, we really have 5 villains now. We have Chaos Conjurer, Control Freak, Orders Bane, Helix Hijacker, and Nimbus Nomad. You live in Australia. Okay, that's what I thought you said you live in Australia. And then, of course, we have Dr. Imperfect. Basically, the computer, ChatGPT, was not listing Dr. Imperfect like 3 times in a row. So I had to, like, tell it, give me Dr. Imperfect. When you cross against the lights, it's because I know I'm good at not getting hit. Come at me. But on a side note, just the other day I had read like 3 issues out of this thing. Look where I'm at on this thing. There's my bookmark. I was at like issue 3 just like 2 days ago, or issue 5 maybe. There's 47 in here, and this is where I'm at now. This is a Paul Dini Batman omnibus. It's got like 47 issues in this thing. So I've been binging all of my Batman while I wait for my Avatar comics to come in. But kind of a random thing to bring up, but I wanted to bring it up. But anyways, we got our... When was a character ever called Freedom Fighter? Sorry. Oh, we have Chaos Conjurer, formerly Orders Bane, but we also have Orders Bane, formerly Chaos Conjurer. What's your name? Orders Bane? What's your name? Or what's your name? Chaos Conjurer. What's yours? Orders Bane. Want to trade? Sure. I got a box Elderbug. Saw a little bastard walking from across the room. Thought I heard a dog barking. There's a dog bark. One of our neighbor dogs is barking. Hush. Anyways, why don't we come up with the prompt for the next movie? Jesus, we're almost an hour into the stream. We haven't even gotten a movie in. So, let's get our next movie. So, one thing that I recall is we want to use the character that ChatGPT made completely unprompted. It's this mystery character. What happened in the last movie? A few villains died, and we got a new villain that ChatGPT made completely unprompted, and here is our explanation of said TLDR. Basically, heroes team up, villains team up. Villains team up through this new unprompted character ChatGPT made for us that is explained here. And by the end of it, some villains die to help save the day, because ChatGPT loves their villain redemptions at the end of the movies. I am not gonna lie to you guys, when I was recording for that video, that phase 1 video, after I read every movie, it just felt the same. Every movie just felt the same. Like, I literally think every end credit scene was the same, like, script. It was just, they swapped it, like, ChatGPT just swapped a couple words out. But for the phase 1 finale team-up movie, it's basically teamed up heroes versus teamed up villains. New unprompted villain called the Enigmatic Leader. That's all the information we have. It's not its name, it's just a description. It's a leader that is enigmatic. There's no other information about it other than this character is a new addition to the storyline. It orchestrates the union of villains, promising them power and influence. However, their identity remains shrouded in mystery throughout the movie. The leader's ultimate goals and connection to the cosmic forces are driving the heroes and villains remain a central enigma, setting the stage for future developments of the cinematic universe. So, the TLDR is heroes team up, villains team up. Some villains go with the way of the heroes. Some of the villains die, and then by the end of the movie, the heroes defeat the villains, and the enigmatic leader is nowhere to be found, on the run. And chaos is still a thing, though this character is specifically separate to chaos. Avengers level threat? I think so. I think this could be a similar character to who would be a great, maybe like Kingpin. In my brain, when I hear enigmatic leader, the way that this was being described, it's like a shadowy Kingpin. That's my brain. Is a character that is a leader that unites characters against the heroes, but ultimately might not have a lot of powers themselves. But they should be powerful enough that they should be taken seriously whether they have powers or not. So, according to our past post, let me give me 1 second here. I'm just going to check here because I don't want you to take a look at the channel from my end. I'm going to double check the community post from like 3 weeks ago. Also, I did kind of get lazy with the community post, so I admit that. That being said, where is it? Here we go. Quotes. Last night, we had the third ChatGPT universe stream. ChatGPT made its own original character without any prompting. The character has no name and is described as a, quote, enigmatic leader, end quote, who likes to stay in the shadows. Should we learn more about this character by asking ChatGPT directly, or should we keep this? Option 1, ask ChatGPT directly about who the character is. Or option 2, keep a mystery for now and discover more as we go. And so, the options were 36% of people voted for asking ChatGPT directly, where the other 64% asked to keep a mystery and we discover as we go. So we will honor discovering as we go. And there it is right there. So, yeah. We're going to discover as we go. Now, the question becomes, how do we discover this character through each movie little by little? I say, to make this work We should have our heroes face off against a singular villain or anti-hero, depending on how their ChatGPT labeled them. Flashbacks? Maybe. We'll have to it involved that the character is involved with these characters somehow. I mean, Chaos, this character is distinctly different from Chaos, and Chaos, in our decision, was the character that created the neutron star explosion to create the heroes. My vote for the story of why Chaos did that is, as there's Chaos, there's a personification of peace. Peace in this universe was about to win. You know, there was about to be world peace. There was about to be, like, you know, food, like, world hunger is about to get solved. Like, the world was genuinely going towards utopia. Then Chaos, to get one last-ditch effort to defeat peace at the dawn of our universe, as peace winning and there being a utopia was all like what would be prequel stuff. Chaos, the dawn of our universe, at the dawn of us making these movies, at the dawn of the story of the movies, explodes his neutron star to give a bunch of random people superpowers. And to make sure that these, you know, underdog-like villains get the upper hand on the super powerful, peace-loving, altruistic heroes, the heroes' powers were based off their greatest fears, while the villains' powers were based off their greatest traits, creating a power change. And this causes heroes and villains to then fight. Ideals powering the heroes past their fears, and the cockiness and ambition and arrogance of the villains bringing down the fact that their power level is stronger due to their traits being their power, creating everyone an equal level, which creates chaos. So that's my thoughts in how this world makes sense. And so peace can't just reverse things. Time moves in a continual fashion. You know, if you went back in time, you just create an alternate universe and this one still exists. So peace has to try to remedy this by uniting the heroes, whether they know it or not, while the chaos unites the villains, whether they know it or not. So this becomes a cinematic universe to have peace and chaos go up against each other. That's my thoughts on what's happening with this. So if it were entirely up to me, I would choose to, if we use flashbacks like Poseidon / I call him Michael because that's his name. I think I'd like to see a universe where Chaos wins. If we want a truly different take on superheroes, why not have Chaos win? That is true. That being said, that means the ending is going to be, for a lot of people, unsatisfactory. Not that, you know, heroes always have to win, but what if Chaos does win, but it's a good thing? Like, the very, very end of, like, every single franchise doesn't have, villains winning, usually. Some movies have villains winning, like Empire Strikes Back, or Avengers Infinity War, even Black Panther, the ideology wins, even if Killmonger doesn't. Like, there's a lot of movies where, you know, villains win in the end. But at the very same time, like, just having villains win, I don't know, it almost, we'll have to explore that. For Phase 2, if we're going to use the enigmatic leader as the final villain, which we might not get to that movie tonight, we might only get a couple movies in tonight. If we're going to try to eventually get to the enigmatic leader being the final villain again for Phase 2, then if we want to find out what's happening between the two characters, or between the two factions of peace versus chaos, then creating sequels for our heroes. What if... So the first, they just kind of roll with it, right? The heroes all sort of rolled with getting their powers, right? the heroes all sort of rolled with getting their powers. They get their powers, villains show up, hero meet villain, villain lose. That's the plot of like the TLDR, super simply retelling of every movie in Phase 1. What if we don't do direct sequels for our heroes? What if we just do like, instead of each character getting a sequel, what if we like, instead of each character getting their own sequel, we have just a different idea be tested, and they're all team up movies. Like, we might see various heroes throughout the movie, and so they're all kind of working together. Rather than be like Chrono Warden 2 and Phoenix Guardian 2, we have a movie that's, you know, about the peace versus chaos argument, and it's about the heroes learning about what could be happening behind the scenes. A few of the heroes discovered that chaos exists, like there is a being of chaos, right? What if they're sharing this information and then they wonder, well, what happened to us? There was this, you know, neutron star explosion where we all got our powers at the same time. Apparently villains did too. What if we go, you know, what if we look back? And so it's like there's that story, and then there's also a story of, you know, the villains and what they're doing, and then we do like 3 to 5 movies, and then we do Phase 2 finale. Maybe in the first movie of Phase 2 is that one of the villains has started a bit of an underground to grow his power, and he's building a device to begin getting ready to destroy the hero's hometown as revenge shtick. So the whole movie's from the villain's perspective. So it's like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you have WandaVision before that, so it like prequels the villain in a way. Okay. That's a good idea. What if we do that as one of our movies? Because I think it'd be a cool idea to not do direct sequels. Like, we learned about our characters, we know who they are, we don't need to seriously like delve too much deeper. We could, but I don't think we need to. I think it'd be cool to do something different and have each movie be more about a different concept. I'm gonna get pen and paper really quickly. And I'm gonna write down this idea so that I don't forget it. And we can keep notes on what movie ideas we have. So, Phase 2, each movie is about a concept rather than direct sequels. Basically, the villain took the loss personal, so he's making it even more personal. What if this is Dr. Imperfect? Like, maybe instead of making a big machine, what if Dr. Imperfect is, first of all, not the enigmatic leader. Dr. Imperfect is his own thing. And Dr. Imperfect is going around whispering in the right/wrong person's ears and manipulating things in the shadows. We don't know where Dr. Imperfect is. This way we get like our own Dr. Imperfect movie in a way that helps set something else up. So like in Phase 1, we quite literally just had a script, and we just, you know, plugged in all the correct heroes and like, you know, things like that, and remade movies. And we basically just remade the same movie 5 times. This way, each movie is its own thing. So I'll just call the first idea the one I was talking about, backstory / I'll say prequel, and I'll say peace versus chaos. Part 2 would be villain. I'll put Dr. Imperfect in parentheses. Setting up future conflicts. The one thing with that idea, hi Barker, how's it going? The one thing with that idea, Michael, is with the villain like Dr. Imperfect creating, whispering in people's ears, or creating a machine, or, the death ray from Mars or whatever. I don't know. With Dr. Imperfect doing something like this, would he get thwarted in the end? Do the heroes have any idea this is happening? What kind of movie are we making with this? Is it like a spy movie where the villain is looking to get things set up? Because what would a climax be in a movie like that? Like, what if it's like he needs to get information? I mean, Death Note was able to make writing names in a notebook climactic and cinematic. And Deadpool 2 was able to make the powers of luck cinematic as well. How do you make someone just shape-shifting and moving around cinematic in the sense that it's going to, like, to me, I'm like imagining what movie am I watching, even though it's never going to get made. So I want to do it. I want to make sure that we do it right, and that it's a movie that would make sense if it were to exist in reality. So we have an idea of like doing a prequel where it's about peace versus chaos and how the neutron star collapsed, or why the neutron star collapsed, because the world is heading towards utopia, and chaos did this as a last-ditch effort to defeat peace, which ultimately set up the start and the dawn of our universe. So phase 2 would start, or at some point include, a prequel movie. I like the idea that Michael/Poseidon has, where we have a villain-centered movie. Give me a few minutes to think on what to talk about with the prequel. Yeah, think up some stuff. This isn't just my universe. We're all, you guys. At the end of the day, guys, my channel is through this camera and this microphone. You are in, my bedroom/office/studio with me, and we're just talking comics. And now we're gonna also be talking Avatar on the channel, and we're here to talk about all this stuff. I'm bringing you into here, and we're just talking, like we're just having fun. That's the end of the channel. That's it. That's what's not spoiler, but like pulling back the curtain. That's my goal with the channel, is you guys come in here with me, and we all chat about comics and Avatar and nerdy shit all the time. So we have 2 ideas for movies. Let's see if we can come up with at least 2 to 3 more, so we have at least 4 to 5 movies plus a finale of phase 2. I think now I'm going to try to see if we can come up with something to do with the enigmatic leader. So when it comes to the enigmatic leader, what's a way that we can discover more about them? What if we had a villain movie with Dr. Imperfect that's kind of like a Dr. Imperfect type solo movie, where Dr. Imperfect is like setting up this plan and whatnot? What if we have a movie with an anti-hero or 2? Like, we have all these villains here listed as anti-heroes, right? What if we come up with movies with these characters interacting with our heroes, 1 or 2 of these characters, and it's about what they know about the enigmatic leader. So during the movie, they're like there's more being discovered about him or her, and it's like, I heard that the enigmatic leader was. I heard the enigmatic leader was from Poland, or I heard the enigmatic leader was from Argentina or Bolivia, or I heard the enigmatic leaders from South Africa. Like, you hear whispers about where this character is really from. So you learn, this character's from here. And the thing is that when you hear these things, is that they're actually going to be true. It's not going to be like, we're going to fake out at the last minute. Nope, it's an American who, and then like we throw everything we learned about him. Like, every little piece of information that we pick up from these movies is going to be true about the enigmatic leader. So we get this snippet here, we get this snippet here, this snippet, and then by the time we get to the phase 2 finale, we know everything. Like, the phase 2 finale movie would be like an enigmatic leader movie, and the enigmatic leader will decide if that character should win or lose, and that's effectively what the finale is going to be. So that's kind of where my brain's going for phase 2. And it's up to ChatGPT to give us the details on what each of these stories is going to be. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's, I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm rambling. Let's see here. What would be... Okay. Why don't we just get the first movie prompted? We'll think up the other movies as we go. So I'm gonna go and come up with the prompt for the Peace versus Chaos prequel backstory movie. So let's start phase 2. Professor X, Red Tornado, who wins? I'll actually give it to Tornado this time. There's not much Professor X can do about an android. There's no soul or mind to read for an android. It's all just wiring. So Professor X isn't going to do much. I actually give Red Tornado the win that time. Spy-esque movie. He has to get into the most secure agencies in the world to grab documents to learn where his tech is, MI6 CIA. And by knowing they have things to detect these people with abilities. And by now they have things to detect these people with abilities. Okay. By now they have these things to detect people with abilities. So, yeah, by now. Okay. That'd be interesting. I like that idea. I'll just write here kind of like spy-esque movie. Superhero detection. So, just kind of to quickly get myself in that mindset. We can do that one as well. I'm going to see if we can come up... I'm going to do the backstory prequel movie first. If there's anything other details you want to include, we'll put that in the chat and we'll basically espionage. Yes, I agree that a spy movie is the best direction for that idea. So let's start phase 2. I want to start phase 2 with a prequel to the entire universe. As of now, we have chaos as the cause of the neutron star explosion. I want to have the reason be that chaos blows up the star I want to have the reason be that chaos blows up I want chaos to have blown up the star. That's the way to phrase it. I want to have chaos to have blown up the star. Why are Peace and Chaos fighting? I don't think they were born to fight is a good reason. Why do they hate each other? My brain went to Vatu versus Rava in Avatar, so it's like they are genuine opposites, so they cannot let the other one win. My brain inadvertently went to Avatar. I'm not gonna lie. So, like, concept of peace wants all characters to, you know, live together in harmony. And, you know, there's no problems. Everything is in order. Everything is great and dandy. And by extension, everything is also boring. And chaos can't stand that. So chaos needs things to go crazy. So he throws a wrench in the entire world and creates super beings, creates metahumans. And this creates our universe. That's it. It's literally, it's not just DNA. These aren't people. Sibling rivalry or just big oh shit rivalry. It's the literal idea of peace and chaos. It's not people. It's a personified slash, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not, personified is the best word I can think of, but there's a better word. It's the metaphorical, figurative entities of chaos and peace. So Avatar uses these as characters of Rava and Vatu in season 2 of Legend of Korra. So that's like where my brain is at. And I mean, I'm not going to use, kites as what they're going to look like. The reason that chaos looks the way it does in the phase 1 long form video, with it being just this female who's covered in purple and like red, and like literally I kept trying to get like a cloud or like this dark thing from these AI image sites, and literally that's like the best thing it could give me. I always thought it'd be that Vatu and Rava had more potential, like jilted lovers or something like that. I think simplicity is the best path with this. Don't overthink it. That's my idea. So have chaos as the cause of the neutron star explosion. I want chaos to have blown up the star. And this movie is not really like peace is doing this thing, chaos is doing this thing for 3 acts and 2 hours. It's our heroes discovering this information. That's the movie. And then the climax is chaos exploding the neutron star right as peace is about to win. And it's like them going through the history and discovering this through records and things like that. That's the story of this movie. That's what you're actually going to be more or less watching, as our heroes discover this for themselves. It's through the eyes of each of our 5 heroes. I guess now 6, as Temporal Enchantress switch sides. And Temporal Enchantress could be like the, deliverer of information of like chaos exists. So that's kind of where my brain's going with it. Okay, so I've blown up the star because the world was achieving peace and unity. So, which causes chaos to intervene by I want chaos to have blown up the star because the world is achieving peace and unity. Okay, so I have a better way to phrase this. The world was achieving peace and unity, which... Have you seen Batman the Brave and the Bold, Kevin? I've seen episodes, but I haven't watched the whole thing. Achieving peace and unity, which causes chaos to intervene by blowing up the neutron star and ultimately create metahumans / superheroes. Heroes is spelled with an ES. Let's... Fuck! Stop. Stop! I fat-fingered the apostrophe key and hit enter. Let's have this movie be about... That says that this movie be told by the perspective of our heroes learning about this information from new hero member Temporal Enchantress using the recent history of Earth researched through books and the internet. That's where I think this movie could be. It's not going to be our best movie, but it's going to be definitely a unique movie. So let's start phase 2. I want to start phase 2 with a prequel to the entire universe. As of now, we have chaos as the cause of the neutron star explosion. The world was achieving peace and unity, which causes chaos to intervene by blowing up the neutron star and ultimately create metahumans/superheroes as a wrench in pieces plan. Let's have this movie be told by the perspective of our heroes learning about this information from new hero member Temporal Enchantress, and using the recent history of Earth research through books and the internet. Remember the scene in Elf 2003, the angry elf scene where Buddy calls the little... Yes, that's Peter Dinklage. And it's absolutely hilarious. And so... from our heroes, learn this information from new hero. Okay, I feel like there's something missing in this. First things first, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to highlight this whole thing, X, and then please cancel the last, or please, I want to say cancel, I always say the word forget, the last command about starting phase 2. Of course, I fat fingered the 2. So. Let's let this movie be told by the perspective of heroes. Be told in flashbacks as the heroes research this information from various sources such as... What if this is actually, instead of a movie, what if this is a TV show? Like, each episode is like the Civil War, like how peace and chaos are affecting the Civil War. Then it goes to each of the world wars. Then it goes to like Vietnam and Korea, and you go through all... That's an idea of like what it goes through. And then the final episode of this mini-series, it's not like how in my DCEU I didn't want to have Batgirl and Robin be a movie, because I'm like, I didn't really feel like it could be a movie. I'm like, what if it's just a show and it's Batgirl and Robin across like 6 to 8 45-minute episodes, you know, going up against Penguin and Riddler and Killer Croc and Two-Face and like those characters. And so you get that's like your way of getting a little bit of the Bat family, as I didn't want that universe to entirely be Batman. So it's like my way of showing off the Batman Gotham world, while also giving a little bit more spotlight to Batgirl and Jason Todd Robin before they ultimately go away in Batman 2 like the next year. What if this is similar to that, where it's like backstory in the form of a mini-series? So I'm going to have this, instead of being a movie, it's going to be a mini-series. So I'm going to see if, well, also this will be experimenting with what ChatGPT would do with the plot of a mini-series instead of a movie. With a prequel mini-series / limited series to the entire universe. As of now, we have chaos as the cause of the neutron star explosion. Because as I'm thinking about it, like, this doesn't make sense as like a full-length cinematic movie, but what if it's like a high-end like miniseries where you're learning more about the universe, where like the show itself is not made to be this like groundbreaking, let's, you know, make this universe take a left turn. It's building on the lore. It's an epilogue. Steppenwolf for Thanos. Who wins? Thanos. Easy. Thanos. It's not even close. Steppenwolf, strong fighter. He is. His axe is strong. Thanos is kicking his ass. Ultimately create metahumans and superheroes with a wrench in pieces plan. Let's have the movie be told in flash. Let's have this show be told in flashbacks as the heroes research the information from various sources, such as newly turned hero temporal enchantress and temporal enchantress books and history books and the internet. There! That's what's in my head. Let's go for it. It's been an hour 25. We're gonna get our first official post in an hour and a half into the stream. And while that loads, I'm gonna grab my chair and I'm gonna sit down. My chair was in the closet because my Roomba was out vacuuming the floor. I didn't want the chair to impede the Roomba. So I had to go get the chair out of the closet. Alright. So I'm excited to hear what ChatGPT has for us on this first movie. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. Oh, the one thing I forgot one thing. And that was, see if we can learn any more about the enigmatic leader. But I think we'll be okay with one movie not being about that, or one show. So, Cosmic Chronicles, Dawn of Discord. Synopsis. Set in the early days of Earth's pursuit of utopia, Dawn of Discord unravels the mysteries surrounding the cosmic events that led to the creation of metahumans. As heroes delve into the past, guided by a temporal enchantress, historical records, and online archives, the truth emerges. A cosmic force, chaos, intervened to disrupt the world's harmonious trajectory. Episode 1, Harmony Unveiled. Flashback. Witness the world on the brink of unity, technological advancements, and global cooperation. Nations set aside differences for a shared vision of peace. Present day. Temporal Enchantress, having turned away from villainy, shares her unique perspective on the prelude to Chaos's intervention. Episode 2, Celestial Disruption. Flashback. Explore the cosmic event that as Chaos manipulates the neutron star, unraveling the delicate balance of the universe. Present day. Heroes piece together the cosmic manipulation through Temporal Enchantress's accounts and unearthed historical artifacts. Episode 3. The Birth of Metahumans. Flashback. Witness the neutron star explosion's transformative effects on individuals across the globe, granting extraordinary powers. Present day. Heroes uncover personal accounts, first-hand experiences, and the emergence of heroes during the chaos. Episode 4. Chaos's Agenda. Flashback. Chaos's motivations and agenda come to light as the cosmic force seeks to thwart humanity's march towards unity. Present day. Heroes investigate Chaos's influence on global events, uncovering hidden threats and secrets. Episode 5. Temporal Threads. Flashback. Temporal Enchantress's journey from antagonist to anti-hero is revealed, providing insights into her interactions with Chaos. Present day. Temporal Enchantress confronts her past, sharing her experiences and the inner turmoil that led to her redemption. Episode 6. Echoes of Chaos. Flashback. Chaos's influence echoes through time, affecting key historical events and shaping the destinies of individuals. Present day. heroes connect the dots, realizing the far-reaching consequences of Chaos's intervention on the timeline. How many episodes are there? Episode 7, The Unveiling. Flashback. The true nature of Chaos is revealed, culminating in the cosmic forces' intervention to disrupt pursuit of peace. Present day. Heroes piece together the final puzzle, confronting the ramifications of Chaos's actions and the ongoing consequences for the universe. Miniseries Dawn of Discord serves as a captivating prequel, blending flashback with present-day investigations, uncovering the origins of Chaos and the cosmic events that set the stage for Phase 2 of the Cosmic Chronicles. And Nick, you also asked if Red Tornado would win versus Steppenwolf, or who wins between the two. The case for either one's Red Tornado would win by just using the vortexes to keep Steppenwolf at bay, or just to shred Steppenwolf with his own axe, and Steppenwolf would win because maybe he's just too heavy and he's able to use his axe and his strength to stay grounded and claw his way to Tornado, where he can then decapitate him. So it's all up to the writer of this scenario. For me, I could go either way, but because Red Tornado using the vortexes to strip Steppenwolf from himself, that would be something interesting. So if like gun to my head, I had to make a decision, I would actually go Tornado on this one. But DC would not make a movie where Tornado would defeat Steppenwolf one-on-one unless Steppenwolf was not a major villain, because Steppenwolf as a more major villain like that needed to have the Justice League take him out one piece at a time, or else it's not a good movie. We got to think about the story first. But if you just drop him in like a world like that, then yeah. Thanos or Martian Manhunter? Manhunter. But at the same time, if Thanos has the gauntlet, I always say, if you're saying Thanos, it's without the gauntlet, so I'd go Manhunter if Thanos doesn't have the gauntlet. I had an idea about the Mr. Imperfect movie. One thing I will say is that it's Dr. Imperfect. First of all, Dr. Imperfect didn't go to imperfect school to become a Mister. And second thing is that the reason it is Dr. Imperfect is not just because of that stupid joke I just made, but because if it's Dr. Imperfect, then the title involves it, or the title of the character, Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor, that title keeps the gender and descriptions of the character ambiguous. And it could just be doctor, doctorates, medical doctor is just being used to cover up the identity of the person. The doctor is, to me, it's critical to that. So it mistyped it. That's fine. It's just like you that typed wrong. Got it. Instead of destroying his opponent's home, trying to seize public power. Wait, I had an idea about the Dr. Perfect movie. Instead of trying to destroy his opponent's home, trying to seize public power, using managed democracy to win the vote and then begin creating rules to destroy the town without killing anyone. The one thing about this world is that it is the world. Like, our heroes are from 5 different corners of the world: Japan, Iceland, America, Brazil, and Cairo. I just realized that one of those was a city. But either way, we're across all 5 points of the world. So what if, instead of going for like a specific town or something like that, what if Dr. Imperfect is going towards like the UN? Or like this universe's version of the UN, where like before, like the world was apparently gaining peace, right? So there has to be some sort of worldwide government, or at least leaders, right? What if Dr. Imperfect is going towards that? So it's on that global scale. Like, what if that's where it's going? That's the edit I would make. Now it works? Yeah. Let's go in and see if we can make that. And let's also, what if the enigmatic leader is secretly in this movie too? And this could be a way for us to learn a little bit about this character. And it's not going to be a main character. This would be like, for like the keen-eyed watchers of these fake movies, like if they go to the theater, like people will notice that in Captain America's The Winter Soldier, Jasper Sitwell name drops Stephen Strange. So our keen-eyed viewers would be able to pick that out. Did you catch your reference? I don't know if I caught your reference. I don't know what. Managed democracy, win the vote. Oh, is this a political joke? Is this a political joke? Managed democracy, held diverse game. Oh, okay. No, I didn't catch it. Here's my thought. No, not political joke. Okay. Because that's one thing I don't want to have on this channel is politics, because no political conversation ends well. Unless they're like, the question is, like, there was a question, I just saw this on a YouTube short, where during the Trump and Clinton 2016 presidential election here in America, which, by the way, for those of you who aren't American, who don't follow American politics, was a shit show. That presidential race and the 2020 presidential race, pretty much every presidential race in everyone's lifetime has been a shit show here in America. That being said, there was, and this is, I'm speaking matter of fact here, there was an interview for the 2016 American presidential election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton that actually had a good ending. I'm just happy that I was a month too young. I was born in December of 1998, which means I was 17 in November of 2016. So, age to vote here is 18. I was 1 month too young to participate in that election. I was lucky enough that I didn't have to vote. I was lucky I couldn't vote. I'm very happy. I was born right on the cusp of being able to vote at my 18th birthday, and so happy I didn't have to participate in that election. That being said, this race had a great end of debate question, and then a vote for both the next time. Oh my god, don't even get me started on that. But sticking to this, the end of this debate was a question from the host, and the host asked the question, "What is one genuine good thing you can say about your opponent?" No lies. Hillary Clinton complimented Trump as a parent and saying that his children are amongst the best well-behaved and well-mannered children she has ever met, which is one of the best compliments you would be able to receive as a father. Not speaking from experience, I'm not married, nor do I have kids, nor am I even close to either of those things. That is one of the best compliments you can receive as a parent. And Trump complimented Hillary's drive and persistence. And there was no jokes with them. Like, it was a genuine, like, they genuinely complimented each other. And it was like, I had never heard this. This is 8 years old. 8 years old. It's almost a decade ago. And I had never heard it. Imagine, like, that. The media is not going to get clicks from that until it's well into the past. That's the sad part, is that the media only shows you what they want you to click on. That's it. They don't show you the truth. They show you what you can click on. That's about as political as I'm gonna go. But that's both sides, by the way. Media on both sides. But either way, getting off my soapbox. I just thought that was a really cool story within our American politics, as a shit show as they always are. That was a really cool moment that happened 8 years ago that at least I discovered just like a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a week ago. I don't know. I discovered it recently. But let's see if we can get this Dr. Imperfect movie going. So, basics of this Dr. Imperfect movie. So, my idea is, what if this character is very much the movie's about Dr. Imperfect rising in power. Looking up the video now. Yeah, it's like it lights a small bit of hope for humanity watching that video, knowing for us Americans who like lived through that election, and especially the last election, looking back and seeing that, it ignites a little bit of hope for humanity watching that video. So just look up something like Trump and Clinton complimenting each other at the end of debate or something like that on YouTube, and you should be able to find it. I saw it on a YouTube short, so I don't know if it's a long form video. But what if in this Dr. Imperfect movie there's also the enigmatic leader who's not obviously the enigmatic leader, but still the enigmatic leader? And we're able to learn a little bit of true information about this character. But the movie will focus on Dr. Imperfect's rise in secret after the events of the first team-up movie. After the events of Phase 1, Dr. Imperfect is on the rise to power. And what if it's not until the end that we realize that this is a movie about Dr. Imperfect? What if? Or what if Dr. Imperfect and the enigmatic leader are working together? So like, the enigmatic leader is like, I got a pitch for you, Michael. I got a pitch for you. So, I got an idea to kind of twist your movie on itself. What if the movie's about the enigmatic leader becoming the world leader? Like, if there is a president or a king or a prime minister of the planet Earth in this universe, the enigmatic leader, this character we know little to nothing about that ChatGPT just prompted, what if this character is slowly on the rise to becoming that singular leader of the world, the president of Earth, if you will? Dr. Imperfect is secretly, to even the enigmatic leader, trying to get this person elected for reasons unknown. Or if you have ideas for reasons why Dr. Imperfect would be doing this, share them. And so Dr. Imperfect throughout the movie is constantly shapeshifting, and it's always in a different form. And you don't know that this is the next chapter of the story, or maybe you just don't know what is happening because you don't know any of these new characters, because Dr. Imperfect is always somebody else in almost every single scene, or is like jumping back and forth between various characters. So all of these actors that would be in this movie, like 5 or 6 of them at least, would be variants of Dr. Imperfect throughout the movie. These characters would never interact, so when you rewatch the movie, you realize once, like at the end of the movie, it's twist that Dr. Imperfect was the like these 5 to 10 characters who never were in the same scene together throughout the movie, and that you learn little bits of information about the enigmatic leader without knowing ever that it is the enigmatic leader. So we'll tell ChatGPT that this character is the enigmatic leader, but the viewers of the movie would not know. And then we only find out at the end of the movie by a plot twist, or just by reveal, that these like 5 characters throughout the movie were all Dr. Imperfect at different points. What if that's the movie? What do you guys think about that? I think that's a great idea, but yet again, that's my idea. Of course, I'm gonna elect my own idea. So I just want to run it past you, because that was originally your idea to have a movie like this. So I just want to run it past you, because I think that is the way it could work, is have it be like a mystery spy power Game of Thrones type movie, where it's like, wait, where's Chrono Warden? Where's Phoenix Guardian? Where's, that sounds terrifying and like an awesome movie. Okay, let's go with it then. So let's just get ideas down. I'd buy tickets to that. Yeah, that just like, imagine if it's not even marketed as like Marvel Studios is the MCU, right? Not Sony, Marvel Studios. What if this isn't even like super advertised as like a Marvel Studios or ChatGPT universe movie, and then it's like, oh shit, they just released another movie, and like no one and it's like a little Easter egg to find out that it even is a movie. I don't know. I'm going super meta with it, but so for movie number, I'm just gonna type at symbol number 2. Let's have this be a movie about Dr. Imperfect and the enigmatic leader. For us, we will, or we the filmmakers or the audience would find out by the end of the movie that Dr. Imperfect, or here, I'm actually going to rephrase this later on. So the movie is about the enigmatic leader becoming the president of Earth, or similar title to that, as she rides through the ranks of politics. This is aided. Should the enigmatic leader, that we don't know is this is the enigmatic leader, but should Dr. Imperfect know? Well, should Dr. Imperfect should know. Have I been, I assume you mean bald before. No, I've never been bald, if that's what you're asking. So this will be aided by Dr. Imperfect, but should the enigmatic leader know that he or she is working with Dr. Imperfect, or should this be a mystery to even this person? Like, Dr. Imperfect's just that good at staying hidden? That's the question. I'm just pitching it to you guys. What do you guys think? So this is aided. I'm just going to do it like that. Just kind of leave it there. By Dr. Imperfect impersonating many of the characters throughout the movie. None of the characters that Imperfect becomes should ever meet each other, by the way, since they are all one person. And so let's, Jesus. Like a House of Cards / Game of Thrones like story. This is aided again. Should the enigmatic leader know or not know that he or she is working with Dr. Imperfect? That's the question. Characters like not know? Okay. I don't care either way. I just want to know. Unknowingly. This is aided unknowingly by Dr. Perfect. Like a reporter, assistant, a reporter, an assistant. What would be other characters? Secret Service, or I'll just say bodyguard. escort. And let's just come up with one more as... maybe one more. One more character that this person could be. Like maybe like a media I'll just say etc. By the end of the movie, it is discovered through a reveal that these characters were all secretly Dr. Imperfect, and we as the audience should not be aware that the enigmatic leader is even in this movie. So keep that a secret. We will discover bits and pieces about this character throughout the movie. So, what if Dr. Imperfect is secretly this character's, like, lover? I just had that idea pop in my head, like, first of all, we don't know anything about the enigmatic leader, male or female. Dr. Imperfect is everyone and no one. Like, it doesn't matter which way you toss those dice, so to speak. They very well could be any which way romantic partners. Like, what if Dr. Imperfect is also, like, the enigmatic leader's lover at the time? I don't know, that idea just popped in my head. But either way, these characters would be the main characters in this movie. And Dr. Imperfect will imitate. Do you guys like that idea of, because that's one way to have Dr. Imperfect play like 5 or 6 of the characters and be the main character, be all of the main characters simultaneously, while still getting those maybe bits and pieces of the personal information of the enigmatic leader, where like we could find out where the characters. No, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we go that route? Right now we're not. Right now we're not. So I'm gonna go ahead and read through this really quickly. For movie number 2, let's have this be a movie about Dr. Imperfect and the enigmatic leader. The movie is about the enigmatic leader becoming the president of Earth, or similar title to that, as he/she rides through the ranks of politics like a House of Cards / Game of Thrones story. This is aided unknowingly by Dr. Imperfect impersonating many of the characters throughout the movie. None of the characters that Imperfect becomes should ever meet each other. Should ever meet each other, by the way. since they're all one person. These characters would be the main characters in this movie, and Dr. Imperfect will imitate a reporter, people like a reporter, assistant, bodyguard, escort, etc. By the end of the movie, it is discovered through a reveal that these characters were all secretly Dr. Imperfect, and we as the audience should not be aware that the enigmatic leader is even in this movie, so keep that a secret. We will discover bits and pieces about... If I don't hear anything about the Dr. Imperfect also imitating the enigmatic leader's lover, then I'm just going to leave it out, because I don't know if I really want to do it. But if you guys want to do it, we can do it. Discover bits and pieces about the enigmatic leader throughout the movie. Things like gender, name, nationality, etc. We all good with this? It's a very long description. I'm gonna see if I can't, shorten it a little bit. I feel like this might be a lot for ChatGPT. That's unneeded. These characters are the main characters in this movie, and Dr. Imperfect will imitate people like a reporter, assistant, bodyguard, escort, etc. By the end of the movie, it is discovered by a reveal that these characters were all secretly Dr. Imperfect, and we, as the audience, should not be aware that enigmatic leader is even in this movie, so keep that a secret. We will discover bits and pieces about the enigmatic leader throughout the movie, things like gender, name, nationality, etc. I think we can even delete this. So it'd be second phase 2 movie is about the enigmatic leader becoming the president of Earth, or similar title. And let's end things for the stream after this movie. So this will be the last thing we do for stream tonight, because pretty much all the ideas we've come up with is in these two, I think, really unique ideas, and we can continue phase 2 tomorrow. So the second phase 2 movie is about the enigmatic leader becoming the president of Earth, or a similar title to that, as he/she rides through the ranks of politics like a House of Cards / Game of Thrones story. This is aided unknowingly by the enigmatic leader, by Dr. Imperfect, impersonating many of the characters throughout the movie. None of the characters that Imperfect becomes should ever meet each other, since they're all one person. These characters are the main characters in this movie, and Dr. Imperfect will imitate people like a reporter, assistant, bodyguard, escort, etc. By the end of the movie, it is discovered by a reveal that these characters were all secretly Dr. Imperfect, and we as the audience should not be aware that the enigmatic leader is even in this movie, so keep that a secret. We will discover bits and pieces about the enigmatic leader throughout the movie, things like gender, name, nationality, etc. Alright. I'll give until 9:58 standard time, which is about another 30 seconds. If I hear no complaints with the prompt for this movie, I will send it through in 25 seconds. So, speak now or forever hold your pizza, because we had about 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. There you go. There it goes. So, we'll end the stream after we read through this movie. I think that's going to be late enough for us, so let's go ahead and get going with this movie. Honestly, thank you, Michael. This might be the best movie in the universe. This idea is fantastic. You have a great idea for this. Shadows of the Throne is the title. No subtitle, just Shadows of the Throne. Synopsis. As Earth witnesses an unprecedented rise in political intrigue and power plays, the mysterious... Cousin knows what he's doing. He does. Rises in political intrigue and power plays, the mysterious, enigmatic leader orchestrates a mesmerizing ascent to become the president of Earth. Unbeknownst to the world, this enigmatic figure employs the shape-shifting abilities of ChatGPT didn't listen. Apparently I think our prompt was too long, so it messed up by, as we said here, this is aided unknowingly by the enigmatic leader. That, I should have said this word being that. This would have made it better. Dr. Perfect impersonating many of the characters throughout the movie. Right here, Dr. Perfect is employed by the enigmatic leader. So enigmatic leader knows Dr. Imperfect. Which, in hindsight, makes sense, because Imperfect would have been one of the villains chosen to work for the enigmatic leader at the end of Phase 1. So it would make sense that even... we forgot to add in the superhuman detection abilities. We forgot to add in the metahuman detection devices. Thanos or Bowser? Thanos. Power creep, buddy. Even though Thanos and Bowser were made like around the same time. I think Thanos was made in 1980 and Bowser was like 1985. But either way. But we'll see where this goes. This might be a silver lining here. Employs the shape-shifting abilities of... Yeah, he's the president of Earth, but we still don't know that he's the enigmatic leader. We as the audience don't know. So ChatGPT is describing the character as the enigmatic leader. That being said, if we're the audience watching this movie, we should not know that that is who this character is. This should be like a movie that has entirely new characters, and then we discover that they're really characters that were in shadows the entire time. Like secretly, it's Dr. Imperfect as like all our main characters, and the enigmatic leader is actually the president. We don't know that then. We find that out in a later movie. And I think we're going to end the stream after we go through this movie, so let's just run through it a little bit. We got acts in this now. Instead of going through like descriptions on each chapter, we got acts. Employs the shape-shifting abilities of Dr. Imperfect to manipulate events from behind the scenes. It's awesome. I know, right? It's so cool. Act 1, Invisible Threads. Introduction. Meets key political figures, reporters, and staff members who will play pivotal roles in the enigmatic leader's ascent. I'm assuming those are all Dr. Imperfect. Dr. Imperfect's deception. Various characters seemingly unrelated make appearances in different spheres of influence. Dr. Imperfect effortlessly assumes roles of a reporter, assistant, bodyguard, and more. All ideas that I had given ChatGPT. Act 2, The Puppeteer's Dance. Political machinations? Machination? I assume that's machinations. The enigmatic leader skillfully navigates the political landscape, employing cunning strategies and exploiting weaknesses. Dr. Imperfect's web. The characters unknowingly manipulated by Dr. Imperfect's crossed paths, weaving a complex web of interactions and relationships. Act 3, Whispers of Power. Secrets unearthed. Characters begin to suspect hidden agendas as they encounter strange coincidences and unexplainable occurrences. The enigmatic leader's trail. Subtle clues hint at the enigmatic leader's identity, leaving the audience in suspense. Act 4. Never heard of a fourth act in movies. The veil lifts. Revelations. The characters discover shocking truths about themselves and the mysterious manipulator pulling the strings. Dr. Perfect exposed. A dramatic reveal uncovers that all the characters were Dr. Perfect in disguise, leaving the audience in disbelief. Act 5, Throne of Shadows, the final play. Dr. Imperfect, having served the enigmatic leader's perfect, discloses the mastermind's true identity. Enigmatic leader revealed. In a climactic twist, the enigmatic leader emerges from the shadows, revealing aspects of gender, name, and nationality. It doesn't tell me who this person is. We still know nothing about them. Leaving the audience hungry for more. Epilogue. The game continues. New challenges. The enigmatic leader consolidates power, setting the stage for the next phase of their grand plan. Mystery deepens. The audience is left with lingering questions about the enigmatic leader's ultimate goals as the cosmic chessboard expands. Okay, I'm going to add one more prompt for today's stream, and that is I'm going to straight up ask ChatGPT, as my goal was for us to at least learn a little bit about the character from this movie, right? And it literally just didn't tell me. Like, this is honestly a really dumb prompt, right, that it gave me. So what if we just straight up ask, we want to learn, more about the enigmatic leader. What should be the name of the enigmatic leader? What is the enigmatic leader's gender, male or female, or and the nationality? Like, what are those three things? So I'm going to end the stream on this prompt. What? Or I like doing this like a conversation. We want to know more about the enigmatic leader. Is the character a male or female? What is the character's real name? And where is this character from on Earth? City/states, city, and country. This is the last prompt of the day. We're going to find out these three things I tried to figure out from this movie up here. We're just going to straight up ask those three questions. It doesn't answer! It still doesn't tell me! Yes, I had forgotten. Deadpool in the comments of the first video also reminded us that Bully McGuire was the originator for the idea of Dr. Imperfect. I forgot to give credit in that video. So I left a comment for under Deadpool's thread about that yes, Bully McGuire deserves credit for coming up with Dr. Imperfect. So yes, I will do my best to make sure that credit is given where credit is due. I was so caught up in making sure the video got made, I didn't even think to do that in the Phase 1 video, so I will make sure to not make that mistake again going forward. So I'll give you credit. Do you want me to credit you as Poseidon, or do I want as my cousin? Do you want me to call you Michael? Like, how do you want me to credit you? And I'll write it down, make sure I credit you that way. So but we want to know more about the character as we go. By the end of the phase, we should know a good deal about the character. My dramatic cousin Poseidon. Okay, sounds good. What's up, Puggle? How are you doing today? I was able to check out a lot of your videos. Those are actually really cool. I really like those. Good job. By the end of the phase, we should know a good deal about the character. Maybe not everything, but if... Or here, I'll say it this way. If the enigmatic leader is in this movie. Doing great, thank you. How are you? I'm doing just fine. It's doing great. We're just wrapping up another prompt here, and so we've I'll go and also recap the 2 movies that we've made. I'm just trying to figure out some fucking information about the character here. Shouldn't we have seen this character throughout the movie? Meaning we know if this character is male or female. Shouldn't we at least know the name that the leader was running under and what country he/she is from? Oh! I don't know if I like that. So, I appreciate the clarification. In the context of the movie Shadows of the Throne, the enigmatic leader, as portrayed in this particular narrative, is intentionally kept off screen and is not directly featured or identified. The character operates from the shadows, orchestrating events through proxies and manipulation by Dr. Imperfect. As a result, these specific details such as the enigmatic leader's gender, name, and origin remain undisclosed within the storyline. Right, but even if to the audience this character is kept a mystery, then shouldn't we as the filmmakers roll with that? Yeah, but shouldn't we still as filmmakers know a bit about this character, or should we just leave this alone and literally no one knows? You want to keep it like this where we literally don't know? So what if trust the process? Okay, I'll trust the process. Here's what I'm thinking though. Who in their right mind on this planet would vote for somebody without knowing their name, what they look like, or where they're from? Who would vote for somebody like that? Right? So if this character's kept intentionally off screen, like, the movie's about the ascent of power. Why do we not know the character's name? Or at least a fake name that they're running under. You'd be surprised? Okay. We'll roll with it. But anyway, Poggle, in case you're curious, here's what we have. We have 2 movies. Actually, we have a show and a movie. 2 projects that were made for the start of our Phase 2. And basically, instead of going with the traditional, like Marvel had, Phase 1 be Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, Avengers 1. And then Phase 2 is mostly sequels to those movies. And then a sequel Avengers movie, and then starting off Ant-Man with Guardians also thrown in there. Basically having a bunch of sequels, and then a couple new characters, and then sequel movie. And then basically each phase is just like, you have the first movies for these characters in Phase 1, the second movies for each of these characters in Phase 2, and the third movies for each character in Phase 3. Instead of going with direct sequels for each of our 5 heroes, we'll have like soft sequels for them. Like, what if we do like mini team-ups? Like, we're gonna do these, like, we have 6 heroes now. What if we have 2 of them team up for this movie, 2 of them team up for this movie, 2 of them team up for this movie? We already have 2 projects, so that's like 5 movies. Then we do a big team up versus the 5th movie. Been watching your DC stuff, almost done with it. What do you think? Next live stream, can you do a video game, please? Depending on when the stream is, yeah, I mean, only Wednesdays, except for last week, are ChatGPT stuff. So, yeah, if it's not on a Wednesday, then, yeah, I can stream Batman or Arkham Origins, because that's still the game we're playing. It's taking me an eternity to beat that game for whatever reason. But anyways, basically the start phase 2, where instead of doing direct sequels, we're doing different concepts in essentially world building, where phase 1 or phase 2 movie or project 1 is a prequel talking about the like entities of peace and chaos in their never-ending battle against each other. Essentially, we have a mini series where humanity was about to reach like world peace, ending world hunger, the energy crisis, all that was about to be solved. Peace over Earth was about to win in this final battle. Chaos, to throw a wrench into this whole plan, explodes this neutron star, which is what creates all the metahumans, which ultimately creates chaos. So with that, am I doing anything Booster Gold related? Spoilers? No, not yet. I don't think. There's nothing Booster Gold in Saga 1. What I would say for you is, if I know Booster Gold isn't going to be in the real life, so more exciting, the real life DCU, my vote is Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick should play Booster Gold. But unfortunately, nothing Booster Gold in phase 3 or 4. One of the characters if I were to go back, I would add in, but I feel like it'd be shoehorned in. One thing with my DCEU is that I really didn't want to open up a lot of possibility of time travel, too much time travel, and I didn't love using as much of the multiverse as I did in phase 2. That's my personal thoughts on it. If I could go back and rewrite it, I would definitely try to eliminate anything of the multiverse, and I'm happy that I did limit the amount of time travel, so I really didn't want to open too much of the time travel can of worms. So as a result, I didn't go down using Booster Gold too much, because that character needs time travel to work. So that's the reason I didn't do Booster Gold. The thought was there, I didn't want to go down too much of time travel. That's why in my Flash 3 movie, they are only able to achieve time travel through not Compound V, that's the boys, Velocity 9. They're only able to reach time travel with Velocity 9. To me, I wanted to nerf the Flash, not because I don't like the Flash, but because I didn't want to handle, well, if you have time travel, you can just go back in time and fix it, right? I didn't want to have that. I want the characters to continually move forward in their story. So that's why I limit time travel in that universe. That was a personal thing. I just didn't want to deal with time travel. It creates so much bullshit. So almost slowing Flash down makes him a more fun character, if that makes sense. Creates more rules. Thanos or the Flash? If we're talking comics, Flash. Like, if we're talking comic books, Flash thinks on the level of an attosecond, which is the smallest perceivable amount of time. And in our little concepts, I always assume Thanos does not have the gauntlet. It's because he would literally only win if he had the gauntlet. He essentially becomes God. So because the Flash moves at the speeds he does and can do all the bullshit like the infinite matter punch and shit like that, like it's gotta be the Flash. Yeah, I cannot wait to see Booster in live action. Fancast of Booster Gold will be Andy Samberg, since he's definitely got the cockiness of jokes. Put on some muscle. I can kind of see it. I think Andy Samberg, now that I'm thinking about it, I never thought about Andy Samberg in a superhero movie. I don't know why. I'm thinking Ted Kord Blue Beetle. Not Jaime Reyes. Ted Kord. I don't know why, but that's just where my brain immediately went to. For me, ever since I heard the idea of Glenn Powell being Booster Gold, he's been Booster Gold in my mind. He's too perfect. I mean, look at this. You cannot tell me, we were talking about Ewan McGregor earlier in the stream, that Glenn Powell isn't a perfect Booster Gold. You can't tell me this isn't Booster Gold. You can't. Like, that to me is booster gold. Like, I'd almost riot if he doesn't land the role. If he wants it. Like, if he comes out and says, like, I will never do a superhero project regardless, like, very much like a Leonardo DiCaprio, Timothy Chalamet, Martin, like all those guys, like, I will never do a superhero movie. If he comes out like that, it's like, okay. Like, that's his personal decision. Whatever. But if it's like even let me see the script, or I'm always down, James Gunn seems like a cool dude, let's work together. Like, and he still doesn't get the role, I will riot, because this is booster gold to me. Like, he should be booster gold. Like, if you watch him in Top Gun Maverick, he's so cocky. He'd be perfect. His character in Top Gun Maverick, give him skeets and a blue and gold costume, and he's booster gold. So just make him a lovable loser. He could do that role perfectly. So yeah. Anyways, basically the first project is a backstory on this Peace versus Chaos war. The movie is told through half flashbacks of the Peace versus Chaos, and we learn about the information that's in the flashbacks through present day research done by each of our heroes and the newly added hero, the Temporal Enchantress. Our Temporal Enchantress was the Herald Servant of Death for Chrono Warden. Now the Temporal Enchantress, according to ChatGPT wants to make this character a hero, so we're rolling with it. So that's where Temporal Enchantress is. And so this whole story, you can pause and read them if you're interested. I'm not going to read through all of this again. This is where that story goes. And there's a little bit more description there. Andy playing Ted, also Andy Samberg voiced Scarlet Spider and Across the Spider-Verse. I know, it was amazing. I loved how he narrated himself all the time. I guess Andy Samberg did do a superhero movie. He did. Thanks for correcting me on that. And then here is the second movie. Here's our prompt for it if you want to pause and read that. But then we have the story here, where it's essentially a House of Cards, Game of Thrones style movie involving our secret, unpromptedly created villain character that ChatGPT made. The rise of power for this character to become president of the world, essentially, or leader of the world. As in this world, since the planet was achieving world peace, that it would make sense that there is a world government-like concept out there. There's like a world government. So now it's about this character reaching that like president, prime minister, king level leader role. That mystery character gets that role. So that's one thing we chose for the universe. And it's done through one of our entirely fan-made characters done by a user in chat named Bully McGuire, named after the Spider-Man 3 character. A lot of the people who watch this channel are, I'll say, personifications of superhero characters. Like we have Spider-Man, Deadpool, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2099's popped in, Batman, who else has popped into these streams? Bully McGuire was popped in. There's others I'm forgetting. Iron Man's popped in. So all of these are people who have, honestly, in my theory, that it's like 3 or 5 friends just messing with people. But they popped in. But Bully McGuire had a genuine, and then when they chat, they chat like they're in character, which is hilarious. I'll admit it gets a little old sometimes. Perfectly candid. It's very fun. It gets a little old sometimes with some of the Ks, but we actually had a very candid idea where there was a character of what ended up becoming Dr. Imperfect, where Dr. Imperfect in this movie is playing like all of the main characters. And while you're watching this movie, you don't know that every single one of these like 5 to 7 or so characters are all Dr. Imperfect, just hopping around. And so it's revealed by the end that, like, oh shit, like the entire cast was Dr. Imperfect, and this enigmatic leader is still in the shadows. So you can pause and read those. I'm not going to read through them again. It's a lot. And all we're doing down here is I was trying to pry ChatGPT to tell me about the enigmatic leader, because we had made a decision that, hey, we should know about this character as time goes on. We should learn little bits about this character. Then by the end of the phase, we know who we're up against. But ChatGPT is really fighting to keep this secret. So we'll see if we do learn more by the end of the phase. If not, we'll find out. We'll kind of play this as we go. It's been 2.5 hours. I'm tired. I've been talking literally all day. And so thank you all so much for coming by. And yeah, Puggle, if you are working on another one of your stop motion things, that would be fun to maybe do a little bit of music, maybe. But depending on schedules and time and creative thoughts, you know, I think that'd be kind of fun. Help you out with that. Help you and help you help me, kind of thing. Help each other. But that being said, we'll have a great day. The next video that I'm planning on making is my formal review. Working on Booster Gold 1 right now. Okay. Booster Gold will be a fun theme to write as well. I write theme songs for superheroes if you haven't checked out those videos yet. When am I going live again? No clue. It will likely not be tomorrow, I'll tell you that right now. I've been going crazy. I probably need to take a day off for tomorrow. So, at the very earliest, it'd probably be Friday. At the very earliest. So, I think you guys would let me be flexible with my stream schedule, with it being going live as time goes on. Going live as without really any schedule. I think you guys would let me be flexible with this. Getting a Red Tornado action figure soon. Awesome. You should throw a picture of it in the Discord if you haven't. If you haven't joined that already. Good night. Heard a lot of your stuff too, and it's great. Thank you. But might do a Booster Gold in the future. It'll be a fun thing. But new video will be my formal review of the Netflix live-action Avatar series. I know, super original content nowadays, but that is the plan. I've got most of my thoughts down. I've almost watched the show for the second time. I've rewatched the original cartoon already, and I'm just got to watch the last episode of the live-action Netflix series, and then I've officially seen it twice. Once to watch for the, first time viewing enjoyment, and the second time to see if there's anything else that I want to talk about, which is plenty of things that I've noticed on my second viewing. And yeah, try to give my unbiased, optimistic, yet very real, honest thoughts on the show. And by honest, I don't mean negative. I mean honest. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll get that video out when it's done, as I don't want to rush it. And you have a great rest of your night. Thanks for stopping by.